And this is what I also bought for myself for my birthday. Sleepaway Camp. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen it before?
Movie. Yes, long time ago.
Right.
I've never seen that.
Well, everyone. I think there's a lot of people who are familiar about it because of its cult following and especially the twist ending. Before I even saw the movie or knew what it was about, really, I was sort of I remember hearing about it at conventions, where I went to conventions, people wore T-shirts or maybe dressed up as the character, and the part where the ending, sorry, I'm not doing the best impression or the best facial expression of Angela's character at the end of how. Yeah, but I recognized that mouth expression, but I did not understand what that meant until I saw them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. It's definitely, if you're not familiar with it, guys, if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. Going blind.
Yes, I agree.
Don't spoil it for you. Going blind.
Right.
Going completely blind.
Right. And I'm also debating, should I make a YouTube video about this, because it is part of a slasher, and it's sort of a big cult following the slasher community, and if we want to touch upon it a little bit in this podcast.
Yeah, and summer just kind of passed, and I kind of think of it as a summer slasher, that and the Friday the 13th movies, of course.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I think this movie was more of a summer camp than the Friday the 13th movie, because it actually had summer camp, and we see people, doing what people do at summer camps, playing baseball or volleyball, and because in every Friday the 13th movie, it's about to open up Camp Crystal Lake, but then Jason slaughters the camp, oh no, we're closing it.
They're closing it, and it's funny they change the name. It's like they try everything they can to keep it open, and it never works.
No, it doesn't, and also in Sleepaway Camp too, you have this girl, Felicia Rose's character. She seems she's basically a Carrie type, where she's being bullied for no reason. They make fun of her and insults at her.
Right.
Yeah, and she's shy, no self-esteem, but then builds a little confidence, but she's just afraid to get out of her comfort zone a little bit. The character Judy Bull is Angela's the bully Chris from Carrie, but a little cheesier, corny, and over the top, and of course, very bitchy. It was very stupid to throw Angela into the lake. In real life, Felicia Rose and Karen Field said they were close during the making of this movie, and were like sisters in real life. Paul was nice and friendly to Angela. He takes a liking to her, but she's afraid. He's the first person Angela utters a word to when she first goes to the camp. But of course, Paul is not perfect. Their relationship is a little bit rocky sometimes. The camp council owner, Mel, does not want the camp closed when the murders are happening. He does not want bad publicity and not have the camp's reputation ruined. Like James Rolfe said, he's like the mayor in Jaws. It's not explained, but it seems he was having some relation with one of the teenage counselors, despite she was younger than him. It's not explained. My guess is she had been maybe between 15 or 17. That makes her a minor. What he was doing was illegal. This guy was a piece of shit. When he suspects that Angela's cousin Ricky was the possible killer, he thinks he killed Ricky, but thankfully, of course, Ricky survives. If Angela's cousin died, if he was the killer, killing him does not fix anything, and it makes him just as bad as the real killer. Also, where was his evidence and proof thinking that Angela's cousin Ricky was the killer? When he tries to get away with murder, his death scene reminds you of the first Friday the 13th movie. Angela's cousin Ricky wasn't a bad kid, but boy did he have a potty mouth. And of course he would stand up for his cousin when she was bullied. The cook who works at the camp, this character was a piece of shit. He almost sexually assaulted Angela. His death scene is not a loss. It is a very creative kill in a horror movie where he gets stuck and the killer knocks the chair over and the hot pot falls down on him, burning his face and body. But like I said, a low-life piece of shit pedophile and not a loss here. The camp counselor Ronnie was a good character. Nice guy, kind, generous, and caring to Angela, making sure she was comfortable, well taken care of.
Yeah, and I remember it being really good, but I have to definitely re-watch that movie.
It's okay. It's not great. Like I said, go in blinded rather than knowing what to expect. I showed it to my dad recently, and he kind of was like, "What the heck?" Ending was the same reaction I had. He's also like,
"Yeah, most people have a reaction to the ending."
Yeah,
the reaction of like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, same.
Okay, it's that kind of movie. Okay.
Yeah, where it ended on a 12. All right, if you haven't seen the movie, here's sort of basically. It ends where
don't spoil the ending.
All right, sorry.
Don't spoil the ending, please.
Sorry.
Don't spoil the ending.
Basically, you're going to be shocked about the ending, who the killer. That's all I'm going to say right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But,
and also it is a little bit corny at times. It's stereotypical, like Friday the 13th type of film with cliche characters.
Yeah, but that's 80s. You're gonna run into your cliches because they at the time they either were not established as cliches yet,
Right.
not until the 90s.
Right. Did you ever see the sequels to them, or?
No, I never saw the sequels.
I only saw parts of the second film. I turned it off. I'm like, I cannot handle this anymore. Like, no, this is
It
just.
was bad. Bad, huh?
It was really bad. It was too. Even though despite I do like some corny and cheesy horror film, but this was like over the top, where I just not on my level of corny and cheesiness.
Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah, I just have not like bothered to attempt to finish it or maybe like see the other sequel. Despite Felicia Ross came back in one of them, like I'll be all right. It's another one of those we didn't need sequels.
Yeah, straight to video kind of thing, or straight.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I'm not sure if this was was this released theatrically. I'm not so sure. Because again, it didn't have a following until years later. Now it has like a big cult following. I say you go to conventions, people quote the movie, or they wear a T-shirt, or they'll dress up as a character from the movie.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and I hear Felicia Ross is very nice to meet at a convention. I hope to meet her someday because of this movie's cult following.